When Neil deGrasse Tyson says there is a 50-50 chance we are living in a computer simulation, what he means is that with regard to the existence of a higher power, science can only shrug its shoulders. Because of course it's a system, of course the water runs downhill through the cartographic contours. Step by step the rivers are the water's cumulative, constant running. And the waters are 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part something else. And of course the cardinal in the cherry tree chirps in ones and zeros, and eats the fruit and spits the seed and shits out all the young tree's fertilizer. And the sparrows mate with sparrows and the crows with crows and so forth. Of course the bees pollinate the cherry and the cherry blossoms. Nectar becomes honey in the hive. And of course the wriggling mass of workers all perform the queen's unwavering will. And the queen's will, well, that's just hardwired somehow, somewhere, deep in the endless drone of her heart's blood's buzzing. And the orchards are organized in columns and rows, and the fruits are organized in geometric clusters on the trees. And NDT is saying who knows exactly how, but of course it's a system. Of course there's a structure. Of course who's a logic governing, but whose? Because of course the city is gridded by avenues and streets, and the backyards are parceled by fences, and the cars exit the interstate on their wide circles, and the drive-throughs lines inch forward 1/4 of a pound at a time, before rejoining the highway via opposite but equal, gaining speed and merging, and the time is measured in radians and expressed in degrees and divided into days, by the mechanical circling of the clock's hands, and the seasons circling also. The earth rotates like the gears of an ancient pocket watch revolve like a pocket watch, swinging on its pocket watch chain. And the moon revolves a petricoidal, drawing the oceans to and fro. In sequence, of course, expressible by mathematic equation. Of course there's a sequence. Of course there's a code, by which the sun feeds the cherry, and the cherry breathes out 2 parts something, and all the animals with all their lungs all inhale their 2 parts, something the blood distributes to the limbs, on which the cherries grow. Like the highways deliver the cars to their cities, like the doors permit the passengers to their cabs, like the mouths ingest the soda from the straws. All the shapes call upon one another for meaning. Because of course it's a system, of course there's a grammar, of course there must be vocabulary, there must be a word for the cherry tree and for the traffic pattern and for the shape of the moon's orbit around the Earth's orbit, around the sun's orbit, around the galaxy's center, and everything under the sun has a name and a number and sequence and shape. And of course it's a system, of course the data are inventoried and animated by being, becoming, by spirit, by energy, by something electric. Of course the words are cataloged and catechized and cross-referenced and arranged in syntax according to a grammar. Of course they're portioned out in line and verse and recorded in binary code. Like the way the cauliflower fruits in fractals, like how the starlings murmurate in perfect waves, like when the shadows lengthen into crepuscules, and then suddenly it's night. And the cardinal abandons the cherry, and the cardinal's sonata has ceased, and of course there's a sense to the silence that settles. And of course there's a term for the logic that governs, and of course there's a word for the code that enacts. The logic, of course it's a system, of course it's an algorithm, of course it's a code, and of course there is a name for whatever has programmed the dawn's translucent revealing. The only question is whether you'll call it.